Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Shark channel. Today we're gonna be looking at Sapphire cards, so we only have steel left after this. Then we can get into the new decks everyone is brewing, and I've been brewing some as well. Um, I'm gonna be uploading. This should go up on Friday, and then steel should be up on Monday after the weekend. So next week I should be able to do some new deck brews and show some of them off. But yeah, let's get into the Sapphire cards. Uh, so first we have Judy Hopps on the case, 3 ink inkable, 4/3, quest for 1 when you play this character. If you have another detective character in play, you may put chosen item into its player's impel face down and exert it. So uh, the stats are okay. It's inkable. It has some detective synergy, which we will see with other Sapphire cards as well. Mm, I mean, if you do have a detective in play, putting an item into Inkwell isn't that like even that relevant of a ability. Um, I think the best use for this would be to get some item you've used yourself to the Inkwell that is done its job, but there isn't really anything like that at the moment, so I don't really see this thing play for now, at least in this set, because I don't think there's enough item synergy. But there's something to look out for the future, maybe. Okay, next we have Henman Prophetic Pig. It's a 2 inkable 1/4. Quest for 1. Whenever this character quests, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on either top or bottom of your deck. And it's an alive. Yeah, this is not worth it. 1/4 is not a good stat line, especially nowadays. And the ability is not good. Just scrying or like looking at the top card and bottoming it is not worth it because just put good cards in your deck and you don't have to care that much about what you're gonna top deck. So yeah, not good. Next we have Anna making snow plans. She is a 4 inkable 4/3, quest for 2, and has support. And she's a hero and a queen, which can be relevant tags. But yeah, just being a 4/3 support, I guess this is kind of like Ben from the last set, but she has better taglines because hero and queen can be more relevant, at least the hero part for the blue. Um, but yeah, probably not gonna see much play. But at least when it's a 4 drop, it has more potential because Sapphire usually wants to be ramping on 2. So 3 drops really have to be super good to make it. But as a 4 drop, well, there is still competition for it, but 4 drops fit into the playstyle of Sapphire deck more easily. So this could see some play. I saw some people play the Ben in some Sapphire Steel decks early, or like in the last set. So this could go into those Sapphire Steel decks if there's some hero synergy maybe. But yeah, probably not gonna see much play. Uh, then we have Chef Louis in over his head, 7 ink inkable, 6/8, 3 ink quest, 3 quest. Just a vanilla creature, big bunch of stats, but yeah, not gonna see competitive play. Okay, then we have Daisy Duck, Ghostbinder, doing inkable 2/3, quest for 1, and has support. And she's a detective and hero as well. This I think can see some play just because there is a bigger shift target for it later on. But just on its own, I mean, this could see some play if there's enough synergy for the detectives because it is a detective that's like okay. Um, but yeah, I don't think this will see much play outside of being a shift target for a bigger Daisy. Yeah. Next we have Cricky, Good Luck Charm, doing inkable 3/2 that has quest for 1 and has alert. That an alert is the new keyword for this set. That means this character can talent as if they had evasive. So they it's kind of the same as like evasive on your turn without being evasive, so you don't get the benefit of like evasive cards. Uh, or it can be downside as well. But yeah. I think this is fine-ish, but um, yeah, it's just gonna be hard for Sapphire 2 drops to like even be worth it to consider, because the only way they could be worth it is if you're not playing uh, the ramp cards, and if you're not playing ramp cards with Sapphire, then there's usually like just a better ink to include than Sapphire. Uh, Sapphire is mostly included for the ramp, so 2 drops are just have a really hard time to make this. So I don't think this will see competitive play. Then we have Rapunzel, Creative Captor, 5 inkable 3/6, Quest for 2, and when you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -3 strength this turn, and she is a hero and a princess. I think this is just too weak. The stats are weak for 5 drop. The ability is not that great. I think even if this red, like until the start of your next turn, this ability, it would be probably not played, but especially like this ability that's only on your turn, the minus strength, I think it's not good enough. Next up, we have Fergus McDuck, Scrooge's father, 3 inkable, 3/2, quest for 2, and when you play this character, chosen character of yours gains ward until the start of your next turn. I think this is a solid card, but again, the problem with this card is that it costs 3, and you kind of want to skip turn 3 when you're playing Sapphire. So the ability is solid, but uh, it's just very hard to fit these 3 drops into Sapphire lists if they're not like um, especially good for some reason or a shift target for something. Yeah, I don't think this will see play. Then we have Li Shang, Seasoned Strategist, 3 inkable, 2/4, that quest for 2, and hero and captain taglines that are relevant. I don't think this will see play. Just a vanilla card, uh, and it's a 3 drop, so yeah, previous points stand. Then we have Genie, Investigate Mind, 5 inkable, 4/7, that quest for 2, ally and detective. So this has some potential because it's an ally and detective, so there's some ally decks for Sapphire, and detective might be something that could see play. So this could fit into both of those deck types. The stats are okay as a 5 drop for 7 is fine. So I think this has some niche potential if the, for example, the Jasmine ally deck still has some potential, or if the detectives are good enough, which I have some doubts, but yeah, this isn't awful. It has potential to see some play, like as a 1 or 2 off, but yeah, just to fill in the curve. Then we have Scuttle, Burn Brain, 5 inkable, 5/5, quest for 2, and has ward. This is kind of just a better version of the previous card, so maybe the previous card won't see play because yes, it has 2 less willpower, but it has 1 more strength and has ward, and ward is a really strong ability. So yeah, I think uh, probably the previous card won't see play, and this might see play in that slot as a 5 drop if you really want to include an ally with just stats. Then we have Ichabod Crane, 4 inkable, 2/4, quest for 2, and whenever this character quests, if you play the character with 5 cost or more this turn, put the top card of your deck into your inkable face down exile. This is technically ramp, but it's ramp that comes in so late that I don't think it matters. So I don't think this will see play because the first time this will activate is like turn 4 if you like ramp on 2, play this on 3, and then on 4 you place 5 drop. But this can just be traded into why are you not playing some better ramp, or yeah, maybe we will have some better ramp cost for later. Maybe we'll see. Okay, then we have Jasmine shooting princess, 4 inkable 2/5, quest for 2, has boost 2, and whenever this character quests, if there's card under her, remove up to 3 damage from each of your characters. Yeah, no. Removing damage has never been particularly like strong ability, so you really don't want to pay anything for this ability, and you would have to pay 2 ink uh, to activate this, and I don't think that's gonna happen. So no, I don't think she's gonna save play. Then we have Judy Hopps, lead detective, uh, 6 ink, inkable 6/4, quest for 2, shift 4, and during your turn, your detective characters gain alert and resist 2. Mm, this is a really strong ability, and she's also a detective, and a hero. Uh, well, if detective decks see any play, this will definitely be included in every one of them. So probably will say play, but mm, this will just depend on if detectives are good, because this card on its own is good. Um, alert and resist. Resist 2 is very good. It's only on your turn, but still, it allows you to take like super strong trades, or not even trades. Just take out any opposing characters, and your characters probably survive. But yeah, this is just heavily dependent on detectives being good, and that's hard to say. I will maybe speculate on that later, or during the decks I will build. Yeah, good card. Okay, then we have the Sultan, Playful Monarch, uh, 1 ink, uninkable 1/1, quest for 2, and an ally, and a king. Mm, for those king decks out there. Mm. Uh, if there's some Sapphire aggressive decks that need a 1-drop, this is very solid. Um, the 1-drops with these stats have seen play. Maleficent saw play in previous metas in like hyper aggro. So this has the same potential. It's just a question of if you want to play hyper aggro when playing Sapphire, and that's probably currently not on anyone's radar. So I doubt this will see play right away, but maybe when we get more sets in this core rotation, there might be enough cards later on in the rotation that Sapphire might also be viable uh, as a hyper aggro color. But currently, I don't think this will say play, though it is a good card. Then we have Ichabod Crane, scared out of his mind, doing unequal 0/2, quest for 2, and when this character is banished, you may put this card into your inkwell face down exerted. Mm, I mean, it's okay, but again, uh, you really want to be ramping on 2. This is kind of ramp on 2, but it's delayed because you will only get the ramp like a turn later. So yeah, that's not ideal. And this is just always gonna quest for 2 and then be banished um, as a best case scenario. Worst case, this is just not gonna quest at all um, because it will be taken out by fire cannons or something. But at least it is like when it's banished and not when it's challenged, so it will pretty much always go into your inkwell. Uh, so, I mean, that's something, but I don't think this will see play because it's it's an uninkable card as well. So this is really bad in the late game if you're not like at 18 lore or something. So yeah, probably not gonna see that. Then we have Scar, eerily prepared, 5 ink uninkable, 6/5, cost 2, boost 2, and whenever you put a card under this character, the chosen opposing character gets -5 strength this turn. Mm, the ability is strong. Paying 2 to give something -5 is about on rate, so getting it on a character is very good. But the thing that is holding this back is that it's uninkable and it's a 5-drop. 6/5 is okay stat line. I mean, I could see this mm, be combined with some like strength-based banish effects, or like Under the Sea, or the Ruby removals we got that were strength-based, Headless Horseman, or there was something else too, I think. Yeah, mm, but it needs some setup, and I don't think, yeah, probably still just being too costly for this effect, and the -5 is not really even relevant because probably you would rather take this card cheaper and inkable and be just -2 or something. Mm, But as it is, the effect is strong, but I'm afraid it will just get taken out, and when you play it, it does nothing. And that, as a hard rule, I usually try to avoid cards that just do nothing when you just play it. So, I mean, technically, you could play this on 7 ink and use the boost ability to just like do something, but then it's a 7-drop that just like gives minus power. So that's not really strong play. So yeah, probably not good enough. Yeah. Okay. Then we have Daisy Duck, Paranormal Investigator, 6 inkable 4/6. Quest for 2 has Shift 4 and support, and the ability while this character is exerted, cards enter opponent's ink wells exerted. Um, this is also a detective and a hero. So this ability is very strong. Um, being able to deny your opponent ink is one of the more like broken things you could do in this game. There's not really anything like this before, other than Ink Geyser that like removed ink, but it was symmetrical, so it kind of needed you to be ahead. Um, so this is better ink denial if you can get it early enough. So it just depends on if you can get this down on turn 3, which you could technically. You could play the 1-drop Daisy in Ember and then ramp on 2, and then on 3 shift this and quest with it. So it is exerted, and then it's very good. It's much better on the play because then your opponent is already like 1 ink down and probably can't even deal with this, and then you just snowball the game. But yeah, I think this is very playable. It's a good card. There's a lot of potential, and it will depend on how many daisies we have to shift. We did see the 2-drop daisy earlier, which is it's a bit awkward because you want to ramp on 2, but mm, it is technically possible to go uh, with Amber. You could play the Pluto on 1 and then the 2-drop daisy, and then on 3 you could shift this using the Pluto discount. So that allows you a couple of ways to get this down on 3. So I'm pretty positive on this, that this could see uh, some play and actually be good. And from my history with other card games, like denying your opponent mana, or in this case ink, in this game, uh, that is much better than discarding cards, and much better than like it's a win con that is uh, more bulletproof than any other win cons, because if your opponent can't play anything, well, then you just win. So this kind of does that. It has the potential to do that. So it has a lot of potential. Uh, and I'm excited to try this. Probably will lead into some frustrating game states if this is very good, because then the games could be over pretty soon. But well, that's card games. Okay, next card. This is a good one too. 4 uninkable, 2/3 Cinderella Dream Come True. Quest for 1. With the ability at the end of your turn, if you play the princess character this turn, you may put a card from your hand into your input face down and draw a card. And she's also a princess and a hero. So this is the new way to ramp uh, on 3. So we used to have How Far Will I Go, and this is kind of the replacement for that uh, uh, in a character form, because you get to ink and also draw a card, so you don't go down on cards, which is crucial. And crucially, she's princess on its own, so the ability triggers at least once, like every time you play it. And if she's in a princess like heavy deck, then the ability can trigger multiple times. But I don't think the ability of triggering multiple times is even like that relevant, because ramping to 6/7 is like about the highest you even need to go in most decks. Of course, you can go higher if you have the ability to draw more cards. So if you have the ability to use the ink, yeah, I think this will see play. It's a good card. Uh, it's not really, probably not that broken. It's just a ramp option that's very strong, but like it's not gonna win the game on its own. You have to ramp into something that wins the game. So, but yeah, it's a good card, and we'll see play definitely, and not just in princess decks, because she doesn't need any other princesses to be good, because the first ramp is the most relevant in this. Then we have Judy Hops, Uncovering Clues, Boring Inkable 3/3, Quest for 1. When you play this character and whenever she quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a detective character card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Solid cards if detectives are good, again. So there's a lot of good detectives already we've seen, so maybe there's something here. She's kind of like Tala in a way, but not really. But a 4-drop that is a 3/3 that gains you a card potentially. Though this is conditional on you building detectives. But she does trigger on quest 2, so it does something when you play it, and then it continues to gain you card advantage if it's not dealt with. So I think this is a very good card, but it depends on like how many good detectives there are. It's kind of kept that way, but it's good that it's like a very good card in the shell, but it requires you to commit to detectives. So yeah, a good card. Then we have Pluto, Clever Clue Finder, Doing Inkable Tutu, Quest 1. The ability is Exert, and then if you have detective character in play, return an item card from your discard to your hand. Otherwise, put it on the top of your deck. Return item card. What? If you have detective in play, return item card from your discard to your hand. Yeah, so if you don't have a detective, it puts it at the top. But yeah, this is not good. Returning items, we have Tamato for that, so we don't need Pluto for that. So yeah, this is not a good card. Okay, then we have Daisy Duck, Sapphire Champion, 5 ink inkable 5/6, quest for 1. First ability is your other Sapphire characters gain resist 1. second ability, whenever one of your Sapphire characters quest, you may look at the top card of your deck, put it on either top or bottom of your deck. Mm, both abilities are good, um, as in they are like not situational, they're always good to have. Mm, but yeah, maybe. But it requires you to be high on Sapphire characters, and a lot of the decks that use Sapphire traditionally take it for the ramp and then a couple Sapphire characters, but the other color is usually the heavy hitters. So a lot of Sapphire decks don't actually have a lot of Sapphire characters. So this probably won't see play if the deck stays similar in that way. The biggest potential for this is the multicolored cards, as if with all these like ink dependent abilities, because those allow you to play like strongish characters, but still like be both colors. So if you want to gain some Sapphire ability, for example, the Jasmine, that is the Shift 2 line, that is a Sapphire Steel card. So that would gain this ability because it's also a Sapphire card as a Steel card. But yeah, I don't think this is still good enough. It's solid, but uh, I don't think the builds are there yet for the Sapphire decks to make use of it. The second ability is interesting uh, as a blurple deck because there are decks that utilize the top in some way, but those have always been more of a meme deck level. So probably this ability would just be mm, like a bit of a bonus and not a win con on its own. So yeah, probably not gonna see meta play, but maybe some experimentation. Then we have Christoph mining the ruins. 3 ink inkable 2/3, quest for 2, boost 1. And whenever this character quests, if there's a card under him, put the top card of your deck into your ink will face down next to it. No thanks. This is another ramp, but it's just the worse ramp than anything else. Ramp dependent on questing means the ramp is late, and if you ramp late, then why ramp at all? So yeah, not good. Then we have Mickey Mouse Detective. 3 ink, uninkable 1/3. Quest for 1 when you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into ink well placed on it. So this is a reprint, the second reprint. We have this set, and this is solid. It ramps on play at least, and it's a detective, so it goes well into detective decks. And it has some potential. We've already seen on card market the Mickey Mouse that has shift 5 that gains abilities when it's shifted. Um, the Ruby one, don't remember the name, but yeah, that's an obvious target for this. But I'm not sure if I'm convinced that Ruby Sapphire will make a comeback that way, but yeah, maybe it has some potential. But it will see some play. People will try that, and it can see some play in detective decks. But it didn't really see much play towards the end of the last rotation cycle, so I don't think it will see much play this time either, unless the Mickey Mouse shift lines are strong. Uh, yeah, that's about it. Then we have Henwen's Visions, one inkable action. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, put 1 on top, rest on bottom. Unplayable. Next. Then we have Promising Lead, 2 inkable action. Chosen character gains +1 lore and gains support this turn. A bit better than the last card, but still unplayable. Next. Then we have Might Solve Mystery, 4 inkable action song. Look at the top four cards of your deck. You may reveal up to one character card and one item card. Put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. Uh, these might have some potential if items make enough of a comeback, but you kind of need at least, uh, yeah, I don't even know how many items would you need. You look at the top four and you would need to see an item and a character to actually be good. So you would need a lot of items, maybe like 20 or something. Yeah, you would need to have items make a comeback, and I don't think that's gonna happen this set. With the amount of good items we've had, which is not many. So probably not gonna see play now, but maybe later if items make enough of a comeback, this could be okay because uh, for Inkable Song that potentially like draws two is that is good. Um, but yeah, if it draws one, then it's not good. So it really depends on if there's enough items to put into the deck. Then we have Sudden Scare for Inkable action. Put chosen opposing character into their place. Inkwell face down. That player puts top card of their deck into their Inkwell face down. Um, I think this is good because we already saw Into the Unknown C play, and that was three Inkable Song. Um, this is just one ink more, but it's also a bit better because it's not like required for the opposing character to be exerted. Um, it also gives the opponent one more ink, but if you're already willing to ink a threat from your opponent, then you probably don't care that they ramp one more card. So this is kind of like a late game removal uh, where you don't care about the ink at that point. So I think this is solid, and it will fit into some decks, some control decks, or maybe even mid-range decks that just want to. This is kind of a good tempo play to remove something before. Maybe it's a mid-range deck because this removes anything, but it's not really a good play on four because at that point your opponent probably still has cards to play. So, but definitely for control decks, as a hard removal, this is a solid option. Yeah. Then we have Spooky Sight, 6 ink uninkable action. Put all characters with cost 3 or less into their player's equals face down and exert it. This is just a good card. It's it affects both players, but if you're playing a Sapphire deck, you probably are ramping, and if you're, for example, putting a Tipo and some other, maybe a one drop into your Inkwell, you probably are happy about that because they've served their purpose already. And then your opponent is putting probably more like relevant stuff into their Inkwell. So this is a board wipe uh, against aggro, which is just very solid. It's kind of like Under the Sea, but it's much more reliable. You just ramp to 6 and then you play this, and most aggro decks will be facing like most aggro decks will just ink everything into their Inkwell, and they will have an empty board, and you are fine with that because they are probably out of gas, so they can't even eat the last thing. So solid card. Then we have Detective's Badge, one inkable item. The ability is Exert, pay 1, chosen character gains resist 1, and the detective classification, start of your next turn. I mean, no. Paying 1 to give something resist 1 and detective, I don't think it's good enough. So no. Then we have Ink Amplifier, free ink inkable item. Whenever an opponent draws a card during their turn, if it's the second card they've drawn this turn, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exert. Mm, this is not good enough for a competitive play, but just as a side note, for a multiplayer format, this is a very good card because um, it will just ramp you a lot. But yeah, that's multiplayer. Uh, Heroic format maybe, or any other multiplayer format people might play, but that's casual play. And yeah, for competitive, 3 ink is just too much to pay for this. Yeah. Next, we have Fairy Godmother's Wand, 2 ink inkable item during your turn. Whenever you put a card into your inkwell, chosen princess character shows gains 4 until start of your next turn. Mm, I don't know what princess we are warding with this that is so important to give ward. Mm, I guess if we are playing some Sapphire Amber princess deck, we could ward Yana. Mm, but probably in that deck we don't really have much draw, so we don't really want to play an item that doesn't really do much. It requires us to ink every turn to use this ability. Um, I guess in a bigger deck we could ward the Aurora that gives everything else ward, so everything would have ward. But again, using a card slot for this item that doesn't replace itself is just not good enough. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough. Then we have Ink Runner, 2 ink inkable item. When you play this item, draw a card. Good. Second ability, Exert, pay 1. Chosen character gains alert this turn. Mm, this is kind of like Popsicle at Home. Um, it's a item that replaces itself, but it's 2 ink and not 1 ink. And the second ability, it's hard to evaluate how important it's like to have this alert ability. I don't think it's that important, so probably not good enough. And the last card is Castle of the Horned King, Bastion of Evil. 1 ink inkable location. 5 willpower, 1 movement cost. Once during your turn, whenever a character quest file here, you may ready chosen item. Uh, no thank you. I don't think reading items is that important. Yeah, not good. Okay, there we have it. That's all the parts. Um, and as I said, next video will be the steel cards, and then I will be getting into some uh, decks I've been brewing up of this set. And those will be up next week. So, see you then. Bye bye.